Hello and welcome to this gentle practice. My name's Keegan, the Balanced Nomad, and I created this class specifically for anyone on their luteal phase. It's super nourishing, grounding, and relaxing, so I hope it helps you out. And if you enjoyed this class, let me know. I'd love to make more classes like this one. And we're going to start laying on our back. Finding a reclined butterfly, bringing feet together, starting super grounded here. Feeling a gentle stretch on the inner thighs. Just grounding into our bodies here. And we're going to move to a reclined pigeon pose. So bringing the right ankle to the top of the left knee, keeping that right foot flexed and reaching through, grabbing a hold of that left knee. Might want to find stillness here, or maybe a little rock feels good to you. And dropping that left foot, we're just going to find this on the opposite side. So bringing that left ankle to the top of the right knee, flexing into the foot and grabbing a hold of the right knee with the hands. Choosing stillness or a bit of a rock here. And releasing back down. Maybe finding a bit of a windshield wiper motion just to release the hips. And we're going to move to tabletop from here. You can rock yourself up. And just finding some organic movement from here. Optional to take cat-cow if that feels good for you, or just taking some circles with the upper body and the hips. Just moving intuitively here. And if you were doing these full body circles, just moving in the opposite direction. And just coming to a neutral spine from here, walking ourselves forward, finding either Sphinx or Cobra pose. So just choose the back bend that feels best for you. I'm just gonna hang out in Sphinx here. Optional to keep gaze forward or up to the sky. If gaze was up, you can just bring it back forward. And we're gonna push into downward dog from here. If this is your first downward dog of day, might be a bit stiff. You can always find some movement, paddle out the feet, sorry, or shake out the hips. And you can bring feet a little bit further than hip distance. We're just gonna find some twists here. You can bring the left hand in the center and reach the right hand to that left leg, grabbing whatever's available, maybe the thigh, shin, or the ankle. Gaze is kind of in between the armpit here. Releasing this one, bringing right hand to the center and reaching over to the left side, just grabbing whatever is available and looking up from underneath the armpit. Just finding this again on the other side. And if you're feeling any pain in the hand, making sure you're not leaving all the weight in the wrist, but really dividing it in the fingers, in the knuckles, so that there's not a bunch of pressure on the wrist here. But if it's just too intense for the wrist, always optional to just skip this pose. And one more on the other side. Coming back to our regular downward dog, we're gonna find low lunge from here, straightening up the left foot into three-legged dog and pulling it in between the hands. You can have fingertips on the mat here, also optional to be up on the knee or have hands straight up. Just choosing your version of the pose. If your hands were up, you can draw fingertips back to the mat. We're just gonna find half splits from here. So straightening through that left leg and flexing into the foot. Not worry too much about having a straight back here. We can actually fold ourselves forward, trying to bring knee to nose. And you can keep a micro bend in that left leg if that feels good. And releasing out of this pose, we're just gonna meet in downward dog. Either finding stillness or maybe paddling out the legs a bit more. And straightening up that right leg to three-legged dog. Finding low lunge, bringing foot in between the hands. And choosing whatever arm variation, going with the one you found on the other side. Dropping hands down, just finding the half split, so straightening into that right leg, maybe having to walk the foot a bit forward, flexing into that foot, and we can fold forward, maybe keeping a micro bend in that right leg. Releasing out here, we're gonna find child's pose from here. So optional to take extended child's pose or child's pose with the knees together. And walking ourselves up, just coming to a seated pose from here. Legs straight out in front of us. Finding Paschimottanasana, our seated forward fold, moving any extra flesh out of the way so we're really grounded on those seat bones. Straightening the arms and bending ourselves forward, really feeling the hinge from the hips, not just bending down with the spine, but really emphasizing this folding movement. Hands can come to wherever is available. Could be shins, ankles, underneath the feet, big toes. So really just a bunch of options. Always you can play around trying to see what feels best for you. Maybe dropping head if that feels good. Trying to see if on your exhales, can you move deeper into the pose? And walking ourselves up with the hands, moving super slowly. Head is the last thing to come up. And moving down to our backs. Finding happy baby from here. So grabbing onto either the outside of the feet or the big toes. I like choosing big toes just because I can feel my entire spine pressing on the mat. Just a bit less intense. Trying to keep feet above the knees. Optional to find a bit of a rock here, or you can just stay in stillness. Just releasing the feet here. Coming into waterfall pose from here, we can straighten the legs and flex into the feet. If you have a block or a pillow nearby, also could be nice if you place it underneath the hips. Also optional to come into shoulder stand here. Releasing legs down. And just find some laying spinal twists, grabbing onto right knee, giving it a big hug into the chest. And bringing it over to the left side of the mat. You can also have both knees bent here, a little bit more supportive if that feels better. And right shoulder blade is pressed into the mat, and our gaze is to our right fingertips. Coming back to center, one last squeeze with that right leg. And moving to the opposite side, squeezing left leg into the body. And bringing it to the right side. Optional to have both legs over to the right side. Left shoulder blade, left shoulder blade is pressed into the mat and gazes to the left fingertips. And releasing here, squeezing that left knee into the chest and grabbing on to the right knee. Just giving ourselves a hug here, showing ourselves some gratitude for showing up on the mat today, even if we didn't feel like it. You can rock yourself up to seated, just closing in a short seated meditation, shutting down the eyes, and I'll call you back when it's time to close out practice. And just deepening the breath here, inhaling through the nose Exhaling out the mouth with a sigh. You can remain with the eyes closed. I'm going to chant one Om. Feel free to join me. Inhaling to chant. Bringing hands to the forehead. We can bow forward. Namaste. Thank you so much for showing up for yourself today. If you enjoyed this practice, definitely let me know. I'd love to do more classes that are in tune with our cycle. I do have a period yoga class, so if you are in your luteal phase and your period is approaching, definitely check that one out. It'll make you feel super nice, and it's just a super restorative practice. And I'd love to practice with you again, so please subscribe, and I hope to see you again soon.